After the ball is over, after this game is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Are we on? Yep. Okay.
It's a recording in
But
progress.
there's no red light. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 530. Today is Monday, November 28th, 2022, as we are recording. I am Marlisha, also known as Lady Cronico.
I'm Talia, also known as Princess Gypsy.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woad Cave. If you're new, we're glad you found us. If you're returning, we are always glad to see you. And if you're in the shadows, well, we'd love, either new or returning, we'd love to have you join us officially. Just kind of tap the little subscribe button and the little bell so you can get notifications. And if you want to be able to take part in the alongs and giveaways or whatever, that happens at our home group, which is phnpodcast.freeforums.net, phnpodcast.freeforums.net. It's in the little description box below the video. And yeah, so it's been a long 2 weeks. I hope you guys all had a wonderful Thanksgiving and
Yes.
happy Advent starting. So
We all ate more than we should,
mhm,
and we all were, cheated our diets.
mhm.
And we don't mean lose weight diets.
No, our gluten-free, dairy-free,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Okay, so yeah, what are we? How many do you have?
Well, I have one, and then there's just a bag to wave and design.
All right,
in
so
the shop news.
okay, we bought the community box for December to be our Advent, and in order to stay on top of things, we always start the boxes a little early so we get kind of ahead. So in my my Adagio Woodland Creatures bag, I put the Woodland Creatures bag. My Woodland Creatures mug is it's actually an owl mug, because see, there's the owl. It's candy cane, and I had this before, and I really liked it based on my review. I guess I had it in the last December box, and this one didn't have any candy cane pieces, because you have to understand that these are little portion envelopes.
Right.
So you can't always get all the stuff in it. And this one didn't have any candy cane. So we added a little candy cane, and I followed my directions from the last time. I added some white chocolate. And it still doesn't taste the same way. I think because it didn't have the chance for the candy canes to kind of meld in the package. So it is starting to taste a lot better, but when I was not at all impressed. It didn't smell like peppermint or candy cane or anything when I opened. Oddly enough, it smelled kind of fruity, and there's no fruit in this. It's like peppermint and
Well, you said you
spearmint.
guys smell like coconut.
A little bit of coconut, yeah. So, but there's none of that in there. This is just like candy cane and spearmint and black tea.
It's candy cane. I wrote it down. So candy cane pieces, natural candy cane flavor, peppermint leaves, and then black tea.
So,
And what did you say your mug?
yes, it did. It's an Adagio mug.
Yeah, and I'm using, this was an Adagio mug that someone was kind enough to give me
Last year.
and so it's I think it's actually just one of the ones they call Advent mugs, even though they say Merry Christmas on it.
I think it's actually a Christmas mug, because the last one they said Advent on.
I don't know, because it was connected with the Advent
Okay. Well,
stuff, like that's when it.
oh, was that tier like with this year?
Mhm. I think they changed the mug for the tier.
They did.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll show. Well,
Although I'm pretty sure the reindeer one can be picked up by elsewhere.
I don't think the reindeer one was ever part of the Advent, at least not since we've been there.
Well, I mean, like you can pick it up by itself
Yes, you can.
elsewhere, whereas this one I've never seen per se.
That's my point. I don't think it was ever part of the what do you call it, the kit thing or the tier program or whatever. When they mentioned that this time around, I'm like, what are you guys talking about? But I do
know
remember
they
that.
did. I know they did tier thing. I'm not sure how I think about it this time.
And you can't taste this one, right?
I mean, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I mean, I've been having stuff, so
Yeah. There's fruit in there. It tastes like fruit to me.
Well, you know, I do have the candy cane.
Yeah, so do I.
I just want to take another look at my stuff. I actually like yours better.
So do I.
Now granted, my sugar was added later.
Yeah, they're probably not all dissolved.
Yeah.
Okay, so what were we saying?
So sorry. Yeah. So that we were just blathering about the tea
Oh,
mug.
the tea mug. Yeah, the Adagio is fantastic for that kind of stuff. All the different things they do, the promotionals and things like that they do all year round. And Christmas is like or the holiday season is like all from like Halloween through maybe Valentine's Day. It's like no holds bar. Everything just comes at you.
Well, whenever they can, they do have some sort of deal. Like they have St. Patrick's Day. They hit everything to you know celebrate with some sort of tea thing, and then random things every once in a while where they'll show someone's like Star Trek teas, and you have to spin a wheel, and you might get a free one.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, anyway, so that's that. We both had the same tea. She just had hers with some almond milk,
Yeah.
and I opted not to do it that way, and now I probably won't do it that way.
Yeah, and I found some candy cane from last Christmas that Davina didn't eat, so I considered it fair game. Actually, she got all of ours anyway,
and we both put that in there because we didn't have
Yeah.
I didn't have any candy cane in mine. So
and it was the one that kind of is like the ones we like. It's the normally white candy cane, but it has the red and the
green.
in the green.
And I wonder if that had a subtle fruit to it,
Oh, I'm sure it does.
like an apple or
Actually, I
something.
know it
Because
does.
that might be the fruit that we're tasting.
Yeah, I know it does.
Yeah. Okay, so this might be a little bit short because we're light on projects and things like that, and we do have to eat lunch, but we wanted to make sure that we didn't miss another week.
Yeah, and this is my first time back in this room, so we figured, you know,
It would be good.
it sure is good.
We don't even have the cameras and stuff up.
Well, that's
lighting
gonna,
and
yeah,
stuff
we
like that.
want to just,
We're gonna wait for that until other things happen.
yeah.
Okay, let's move on to what's going on here. The PHN Tea and Tails Cal Lao 2022 is going strong. It's in the last month, which is really weird and kind of frightening in a way. But it's all the projects and stuff are really amazing, and I do see them. I just don't always comment. I am trying to be more active, but every time I think I've got a handle on it, something happens, like we have guests, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. So I'm going to try really hard. We are very grateful to our moderators who are really good. Rena is amazing.
Yes.
And so she's, you know, she keeps things flowing well. And then we have other moderators as well. And we have quasi moderators, and they're all amazing. So everybody in that group is amazing. If you're not a part of the group, you need to check it out and see. Okay. Anyway, this Cal Lao runs the entire year. So it's almost over. It ends on midnight, December 31st, going into January 1st. And as we have said, this is Eastern Standard Time. So keep your eye on the Eastern Standard Time midnight. Yes, you might have a few hours if we don't get to it right away, but don't wait. I know some of you guys have like multiple postings for our projects. Don't wait. We don't want you to miss. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Call from speed 157-121-07.
I apologize, guys. I had to wait till this goes through to make sure it's not the doctor's office. Nothing to worry about. My husband and I both have to have colonoscopies done, so we're waiting to see, you know, when they're coming in. But
When the lucky day is.
hey, actually, his is already. Okay, I'm going to turn the fax on. I'll be right back.
I'm just protecting your tea because that looked like it was an accident waiting to happen.
I'm sorry, guys. I should have been better prepared. I thought I had done that, but you know, there I go thinking again. Now, what was I saying? Oh, the shadow. Okay. For this one, projects must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted. Previous whips are allowed, but they must be worked on during the along, which is not hard. You have a whole 11 months or 12 months to do this. Well, you have a month now, but chatter and pictures are all in the same thread, and projects must be tied in some way, shape, or form to the theme of tea and or tails. And that's tea is obvious. Tails, you know, books, novels, graphic novels, things that have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yes, it can include children's books, even small ones like Mike Mulligan and Marianne or Ping or something like that, where they have a story. Okay. Not necessarily something like Hop on Pop, which really,
It really doesn't have any conclusion.
yeah, it's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Now Horton Hears a Who would work.
Well, I think you said also Green Eggs and Ham has more of a.
I'm not sure about Green Eggs and Ham. I have to go back and look. Or a good one to say is like, "Oh, say, can you say?" This is a book.
I actually don't remember that one very well.
Well, that's because I didn't get it. I didn't read it to you. It was given to me. When my husband went remote. For those of you who are not military, remote means that they send the husband, but the family stays behind for a year. And when he went remote, I went to work at a chiropractor's office. I was with my parents, and my mom watched the girls, except for one day a week when they went to a sitter for a little bit. Anyway, I went to work at a chiropractor's office, and the words were just. So we were supposed to give gifts under like $10. So the doctor gave me this book called "Oh, Say, Can You Say," which had all these different words that were just. Davina loves the book. I think she inherited it. But anyway, that's why that book would probably not be a book that would be eligible, whereas Horton Hears a Who would be eligible. Or
well, I mean, they made a whole musical out of it,
right? And
I mean, I guess it's not.
Well, that's not. But
Cats has no plot, but
something like The Grinch Who Stole Christmas and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely the story there.
So anyway, you get the idea without belaboring the point. We've been doing this for 11 months and 11 plus months. And so.
Oh, we gotta mention Velveteen Rabbit and the Corduroy Bear.
Yes. And Mike Mulligan and Marianne.
I know you mentioned last time.
like Mike Mulligan.
I think because I didn't grow up with it.
That one and Ping.
Didn't grow up with that either.
Ping the duck on the Yangtze River. All of you guys who grew up with Captain Kangaroo.
I don't know how I did, because didn't Davina watch some Captain Kangaroo?
Probably not. Maybe just a little bit.
Because she watched some things that I didn't.
Captain Kangaroo was really that and Bozo the Clown and all that kind of stuff. They were kind of like 50s and 60s.
And maybe she watched reruns.
Maybe. The Romper Room.
I think you said that she mentioned she also watched
Now This Tastes Better.
I know she watched Sesame Street when I didn't.
Do you want to taste this now? It's better.
And I think she watched Mr. Rogers. I don't think I got it.
You watched Mr. Rogers.
I have no recollection.
I used to watch it with you.
I only
remember Zoobly Zoo.
Nope. I remember
you were in the middle with Zoobly Zoo.
I remember Reading Rainbow and the cooking shows. And if my memory's good to go off of, that's all we watched was Reading Rainbow and the cooking shows. Maybe that's all I cared about. I don't know.
Well, you used to watch Zoobly Zoo, but you were pretty young. I mean, when we came back from Germany, which is where we watched Zoobly Zoo in English, it was English or American. I think it might have been British, the show, actually. I don't know. But anyway, because we were in Europe, and when you came back, you were just turning 3, so you probably don't remember too much. But anyway, that's a long way around of saying it has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I thought this was going to be short, but maybe not. Okay. All right, let's see. 1 WIP per project per week. The FO whenever it's finished. We have prizes, which you will see when you see them, when you win them. We have for this quarter, because it's the end of the year, there will be the 2 prizes for the quarter, and then there will be a prize for the whole year. The prize for the whole year, in the past, we have done really large ones. It got to be too expensive.
Yeah.
Even with the generosity of people who were giving it the prize.
Well, the shipping.
The prize was good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't expensive because we have all this help.
Yeah.
We still do. It was the shipping that was just astronomical. So we
also like to spread out the prizes.
Yes.
So, we make more efficient use of them.
And also make more people happy.
Yeah.
So the featured patterns and featured yarns. Okay, now you guys who've been with us for a while know that we have but it has a very strong sense of whatever that fruit is in that.
I think I put more of it in there than you do.
Yeah. Also, my white chocolate chips might be mitigated somewhat. I'm sorry. We were saying that the people we always have for our longs, unless stated otherwise, 3 featured patterns and 3 featured yarns. Okay. Well, let's just say 3 featured makers. Okay. Anything by me, which is Lady Federico Creations, anything by Talia, which is Franciscan Gypsy Designs, and anything by Laura Concert, who's Lollipop Girl Designs. Okay, those things, if they fit the parameters of the along, they are always, without exception, well, unless I say so,
Yeah.
almost without exception, they are featured. And if you have a finished object using one of those things, you get 2 chances at a prize for the finished object only. And if you have something, say, with my yarn and Talia's pattern, or my yarn and Laura's pattern, or Laura's yarn and Talia's pattern, or whatever, my pattern and Laura's yarn, whatever,
Some sort of combination.
some sort of combination of featured stuff, you get 3 chances at a prize, and you are responsible for multiple postings. So in this along, we have not only our 3, we also have anything by Joanna Johnson, Mom Cook, and I think it was KF Jones.
Mhm.
So those are also featured for this along. So the same rules apply for them as it does for us for this along, and you are responsible for your own multiple prizes. The hashtag is PHN Tea and Tales 2022 on Instagram. Now, the toy along. The toy along is just what we say, toy along, and this is in its last month. This was a 3-month along, began October 1st, and it ends just like the other along.
And we are absolutely horrible because I don't think either of us made any toys.
No, I started one.
Wait, when did you finish?
Oh, no, that was before your surgery.
Yeah, I didn't say my surgery was before the toy along.
I have been singularly unproductive with my projects. I think the biggest thing I finished was Laura's shawl.
I haven't finished anything since surgery.
Yeah, I finished her shawl after surgery because I was working on it still when you were in surgery.
I have honestly not done a whole lot since surgery.
No, I haven't crafted much at all since surgery. But anyway, let's not get off track here. The toy along is just what you're saying. It's toys, knitted, crocheted, or loom knit. And as always, I don't have a toy pattern yet.
I did work on platypus since coming out of
Yes, you
surgery.
did. Yes, you
So
did.
at least I worked a little bit on a toy at one point, even if I didn't finish.
I think I did do some work on something, like one of the turtles or something briefly, but I can't.
It might have
remember.
been when I wasn't the one I didn't do with you because I have no recollection of that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like I might have done, but I don't know.
You might have because you did at least one podcast without me.
Yeah, I don't know. In any event, what was I saying?
We were talking about the toy along. We were talking about the people who we were talking about the rules for it because you already went through who are those feature patterns. I think we were
Right.
talking about how much yarn or whatever.
Okay, I just want.
Oh, project maybe did, yeah.
Yes, project can be knitted, loom knit, or crocheted. The same featured makers, me, Taya, Laura, Kay, Joanna Johnson, and Mom Cook, but they have to be toys. And we added chronically crocheting.
Mhm.
She has some really cute toys. She has a kitty, she has a puppy, she has a unicorn, she has a gnome. So I don't know if there's anything else that's a toy yet, but
I've been meaning to make her Mr. Purvis lot.
I want to make her gnome. I want her to make an owl for me.
Well, you finally have a crochet gnome. I don't quite get the gnome craze. I mean, I appreciate how cute they are sometimes, you know, when certain people make them, but
When they're not throwing things at you, have to throw them in the oven and explode them.
what?
Goosebumps.
Oh.
Garden gnomes.
Yeah, I don't quite get the garden gnome thing, but you know, I like several of y'all make really cute ones. I just
Yeah.
don't get it myself.
Now, all the projects that I'm mentioning and whatever along, unless it's like a mini along type thing, has to be 50 yards or more. If it's 50 yards or less, it needs to be put in with another project, okay?
I had to send Grandma information on how to measure for socks.
Okay, I'm glad I reminded you of that.
I don't know why you said remind me, but it did.
Okay, and I already mentioned who the featured makers are. If you don't remember, or if I didn't say it, even though I think I did, it's in the threads, okay? Because you can't take part in the along if you're not in the thread, so it's there. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us, okay? Now, 2 chances at a prize for finished objects using one of the featured patterns or yarns, and 3 chances at a prize if you have the featured pattern with the yarn together in the finished object only. Okay, you're responsible for your own multiple posting. And the last along we have is the Out with the Old, and this one was a brainchild of Wombat of Doom. She's another one of our moderators, and she suggested this last year. And this is finishing all the things in preparation for when we do Ready, Set, Go in January. So this
And
one,
I can't believe it's even something we're looking at already.
well, I know it's just kind of weird that we're looking at 2023. It's like sci-fi stuff. Woo! So this is October 1st through December 31st. All the rules are basically the same, except this has to be started before October 1st of this year. Okay, this is finishing all the things. No new starts in this along. It has to be started no later than September 30th of this year. Okay, you don't have to finish, you just have to work on it. We're trying to finish all the things. That's the object of this thing.
Right.
And then you can decide when we hit January whether you want to frog it for the first month of Ready, Set, Go, or if you want to, keep going or whatever. But anyway, this is very self-explanatory. It's finishing all the things, and the featured patterns and yarns are just the three of us, me, Taya, and Laura. Okay. And this is hashtag PHN out with the old 2022 on Instagram. Did I give the one for the Ready to Go? I mean, not Ready to Go. Toy Along. I must have done PHN Toy 2022. Okay. Now, let's see. The other thing we have going here, and I've only seen a couple people, don't miss out on it. We've got a holiday thread in the PHN home group. And you can put anything you want that has to do with the holidays, recipes, plans, patterns, projects, pictures, paper crafts, everything that's holiday related. Christmas, Hanukkah, well, we're done with Thanksgiving now, but New Year's, all that kind of stuff, Advent related, like Advent wreaths and something, all that kind of stuff can go in this thread. And we have from Rena a donation of a very nice prize. So, and if it's just me and Rena and one other person, guess who's getting the prize? So if you want to give her a run for your money, you need to get in there and post some things. Besides, I want to see recipes and I want to see fun stuff. And yes, I'll take my own advice and try to put something in there. But please do. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
I have to think if I've changed. I don't think making my enchilada recipe dairy free and gluten free, or it was already gluten free. I don't think making it dairy free is enough of a change to share it because it belongs to a club.
Oh, I know what.
And the same thing with the tomato soup, which I haven't really shared. I did actually have one I barely changed. So
yeah, a lot of the recipes I'm going to post are family recipes if I post them. So not family secret recipes, but
I have a book somewhere where I wrote down as you were cooking, like the spaghetti, as best as I could tell from when you're cooking.
But I don't use measurements for that.
I even have like a chili. Do a palm full of sugar. I think it's one palm. It might have been two.
Two.
Yeah. Like I have it written out because I made chili a couple times by myself, in high school. So I have it downstairs written somewhere.
That recipe was given to me by a lady when I was first married. We just left Arkansas. We were base housing at Carswell, Texas, where David was born. And it was one of the older ladies of the women of the chapel. She taught me how to make chili because I never really liked chili. She made it really well. Of course, I took her recipe and I decided, I want to do this.
Well, a lot of them add things like corn and things like that. And
well, hers was very plain.
Well, that's what I prefer. I mean, I can't really handle the spices from chili. I'm not a huge red meat fan.
I'm not either, but chili I like. I like my chili.
I would prefer any day to have, and I do need to make again. I have a bean enchilada recipe. Again, I can't share it because it came from when I think that one came from 5 Dinners 1 Hour. Most of my recipes do. Whenever I'm in need of recipe, I do go and check them out because I pretty consistently like their stuff.
Mm-hmm. And Taya, you and I are going to have to sit down and talk about if we're going to do a movie thing next year or if we're going to do something else for the along.
Yeah, I know we had discussed
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I have for the alongs.
Okay, so that leads on to projects, and you have 2 and I have 1.
Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, even when I have to do what I do, it's like fruit. It's really weird.
Well, that peppermint does have a bit of fruity.
It's funny, that's what dominates. Okay.
Everything in mine's kind of mild.
I think that we maybe need that tea might need, even though it's black tea, I think maybe it needs more tea to water than we gave it. Okay, in my excuse me, Knitter's Magic Christmas Angels bag. Angels bags are always in season.
And actually, there's nothing to point to being Christmas. There's angels.
These are the horns and stuff, but
But
anyway,
there's no reason to claim it. It's only Christmas.
I did not fax things.
You say it was Christmas angels, and I claim,
Not in fact only.
I argue that
Here-
they are just angels without
here-
any particular time period.
Here is my, I said a swatch. Here is my shawl. See,
Do you believe in relativity?
do you see shawl?
Yes, they do. You like the lighting better here?
Yes, I can see the colors better. This is various yarns. I have Miss Babs and Dragonfly Fibers and maybe some Malabrigo, I'm not sure. This, I really want it to be done for Christmas. And if I sit down and actually do it, I might have a chance. But I don't know. I don't get depressed, but I sometimes get lethargic.
Right.
And so it's just,
I think it happens more so during the colder weather. I do need to. I found an app called it's. I'm not gonna open it. I just want to see what it's called. For education.
and I should get some work done on my crafts when I go to the dentist on Wednesdays. You guys can say a prayer for me when I go to the dentist on Wednesday, because I'm still having trouble opening my mouth wide
Yeah.
enough to eat and stuff like that real well. And they have to clean my teeth on Wednesday. So I'm not looking forward to that. If you guys can say a prayer for me, I would appreciate it. It's nothing life threatening, it's just painful for me. So I'd appreciate
I
that.
do have in my search thing, 'cause this is a feed of articles and I tell them things I'm interested in. It's Our Discovery is the app.
Mhm.
It's a free app and you get access to whatever kind of they seem to be mostly well, it's like the academic articles. As similar in some way to ResearchGate. I like the way this is set up better
Where are you
because
going with this?
okay, the point is I have on my feed your stuff with your jaw and
Psoriatic
arthritis. And I've gotten through I've had come through quite a few articles about psoriatic arthritis, some about fatigue and psoriatic arthritis, and some about psoriatic arthritis, fibromyalgia, and a couple things like that. I need to read through them, but these are also heavy.
Tone.
Well, it's not that they're tomes; they are written in science.
Yeah.
Because it's also they have to give their math, or as the British say, the maths, and the all that stuff I had to learn in statistics that I hated.
That's one of the reasons I didn't get my psychology minor. I stopped one short. I did not want to do statistics.
I mean,
I didn't have to. Excuse me.
it's one of those things that I had to. I've never used it really, but I mean, I guess it could have come in use now that I like reading research things when I have a brain. But
So anyway, this is coming along really nicely. I'm not sure where she was going with that, but that's okay.
well, you admit I brought it up because you mentioned you're more lethargic, and I'm hoping to find out some of the if we could do.
I'm not sure if that's to do with what I have, because I've always been like this,
Mhm.
where I,
But I mean,
it's
if
almost
it's an immunological issue,
right.
yes, this could have been something you've always had. It's just come more to the forefront.
I've always had a bit of melancholy with prolonged, like, it's not seasonal, like some people get seasonal depression. I don't get that.
Well, it might not be, it's similar to perhaps, but not to the extent that your mood does, it dips.
Yeah. I'm very sensitive to moods and to like, it's weird. I feel like I feel things with change of weather. It's
Mhm.
weird. It's not like, oh, I'm an empath or so. It's weird. And I've always been that way, where you can kind of feel like a difference in air quality or
Well, I mean, part of that is also, medical in nature.
yeah, I don't know. It's very strange. I've been able to do certain things have always made me feel like I would go to school or something like that and be foggy and stuff, and I'd have one feeling, and then I'd go back to school if it's sunny and I feel a different way.
I do wonder if, like I said, you had something underlying immunological and your body can't.
But I'm not sure it's physical. It's like emotional. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, so this is me done. Okay, you can go.
Okay, so this is my only project show because I've been trying to focus on it. I'm hoping to finish it in time for Christmas.
So that you know who's, you know what?
Yeah.
Don't mention any names because sometimes you know who watches.
Well, I mean, that didn't. So
It could be anybody.
there we go. This was a color dyed especially for this. And this is not just boring boot sock. This is Mom's Sport weight with nylon. And I don't think you named this, so I called it because it was a one-off. So I called it Christmas tree.
That's right. I think I did. This was a one-off, and I thought.
So I just called it Christmas tree because it's meant for a Christmas gift. So hopefully it'll be finished in time.
Is that the second song?
No, it's first song. Thanksgiving threw me off a little bit.
Well, you were out a lot.
Well, I was out a lot. Well, not always out a lot out here, but when people went to walks and stuff, I went to my room and I didn't fall asleep. And I did record 1 or 2 booktubes on the second night. You know, I did them back to back so that I could post them. But otherwise, I was really kind of wiped out. I did find a period when you guys were watching a movie, not African Queen. Davina and Dad were watching that Thanksgiving thing, the turkey with
Freebird. Freebird?
So
I think it's called Freebird.
yeah, whatever that turkey cartoon is with Grandpa. So I took that opportunity to first prop up some Marillion on my book stand, and then later Mansfield Park, and knit on this as much as I could before someone would come and catch me. So I did get a little bit more than I anticipated, which is why I'm so far along the foot. Thankfully, I'm knitting to my particular foot length, even though the width is longer, and I need to get Grandma the how to measure so I can get the appropriate measurements for my grandfather's foot, because she wants a couple of socks knit for him.
And he will wear them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain how you really can't put a price on
Yeah.
on knit socks.
I
I can't charge her how much I would.
I think it hit her when I told her how much my yarn would cost and how much, and I was lowballing it.
Yeah, because I feel less bad about something like a rosary where someone could see, oh, it's a lot more obvious that this might be something, oh, that it's, doesn't feel like you're being ripped off as much or whatever. When people see a pair of socks, a lot of times in the back of their head is, well, I can just go to Walmart
Then go to Walmart.
and pick up a pair of socks. So it's a little bit harder, I think, for people to register that there's a reason why this is going to be more expensive.
Oh, look what I did here.
What did you do?
I short rode. Doesn't it look like I short rode?
I don't know the pattern well enough to know.
Well, all I see is look at it.
I mean,
See,
yeah, I guess you did.
right here. I'm going to go back. You guys are watching reverse progress.
So yeah, that's really it for this. It actually has made more progress than I realized, because I have a couple audiobooks going. So that's helpful. And I need to make sure, because I have in the 11 days where Agatha Christie was missing, a bunch of people on BookTube are doing a read along of Agatha Christie. So if anyone's interested in that, check out my BookTube. We need a couple more people for my team, because there's only 2 of us on Team Superintendent Battle. Poirot has 7, Marple has 7, Tommy and Tuppence have 4. They don't need anybody. We do.
I can do Battle.
Battle's cool, right?
I like Battle.
I like him. His wood face and
I
all.
was gonna say wooden face.
I think I like him because he's a bit understated.
Well, I like me.
I know you do like understated. And partially because one of my favorite books, well, a couple of my favorite books have
Maybe Cards on the Table.
Cards on the Table, and then
Towards
Towards Zero.
I
And
don't
that's
think I've read Towards Zero.
yeah, it's interesting. I noticed some parallels with it in another Agatha Christie. Remember when she had Miss Poirot tells, no, actually it's Battle who picked it out, that she used the same plot for one book and the other, and she's like, very good. Most people wouldn't have noticed it. It was Battle who picked that out, and she's kind of pleased because that meant he also read her books,
Right. Right.
But
I like Miss Oliver.
Mrs. Oliver has hold on.
Ariana Oliver.
Yeah. It's Adrian. No, it's not Ariana. It's
Ariana Oliver. Ariana.
No.
It's not
Adrian. No,
it's not.
Ariadne.
Ariana.
Ariadne. I was like, no, it's not Ariana. Ariadne.
I knew it wasn't.
Oh, apparently, and I'm gonna use this as my short story option because that's one of the things. She first started off in a short story of Agatha Christie's in like the Marvelous Mr. Not Marvelous Mr. Quinn. It was another one of her detectives that really is only in short stories. And she showed up in his office. That was when you first meet her. I've never read when she first made her appearance. That's gonna be my short story because I can't believe I haven't read that.
I'm still listening to I think it's Murder in the Sky or whatever it is.
I like that one.
And where they're in the airplane and, and Clancy, Mr. Clancy. And I'm looking at him and he eats bananas. She eats apples. He eats bananas. Yeah, and he's sharp. He's sharper than he wants people to believe.
Yes, and where I think, and that's something he has over her. She's not pretending.
I mean, we just said they might have been a connection.
I think there is. I think that he was a precursor character, and she realized that she liked him so much.
I think she should have run with both of them. I really like him.
I do like him. In some ways, he's a little bit more. Well, she's flighty, but they're different kind of flighties. He's more nervous or something.
He's more practiced about it, I think. He's very observant. Poirot mentioned that,
Mhm.
when he's talking to the couple.
Oh, you're not at the end. He did something at the end that's very nice for the
Don't that
okay. But anyway, I'm interested if you will notice the two stories that are similar, or the one story that's similar in many ways towards zero. Because I noticed it the last time I read it.
I haven't read Towards Zero yet.
But I mentioned when you eventually read it, if you'll notice that she used the same idea, the same general concept in another book, which I thought was kind of funny because who pointed out that Mrs. Oliver did it? Battle. Who has a book that it was a repeated plot? Battle. And I'm sure she did it in other places, but this was the first time I noticed it. But yeah, I will probably have to do a spoiler episode for that in a book too, but just make sure I make a point of it being a spoiler.
Right.
But yeah, that was a long way of saying check out my booktube. It's marked for the along. I think it's like the 3rd or something.
Yeah, I must have done this the last time I was working on it because
how many hours did you go back?
I only had to go back half a row.
Don't you have a second project?
Yeah, I do. Just give me a second. I'll get to the interview.
Okay.
Because
I can totally blather a little bit.
because I have I hate having loose. Where's my?
I didn't see. Yeah, I was surprised that Mrs. Oliver had Mrs. Marple had 12 total books. Mrs. Oliver showed up in 8. Now, the only reason why I think they didn't give her a team is because she's really not a detective on her own. Both Race and Battle have had mysteries without a other primary detective.
I like Race.
Race has only got 4 books.
Yeah. I like
and Tommy and Tuppence have 5.
the 5
I haven't been drawn to other Tommy Tuppence's books, but I think you would like Secret Adversary if you haven't already read it.
I don't remember. I like the Poirot book that dealt with spies.
Oh yeah, Big 4.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot more when I was younger. But I think it feels a little bit out of place with the rest of her. She doesn't write the spy stuff nearly as well as she does the mysteries.
I liked it.
But I think she did a really good job with Tommy and Tuppence. And I think I also see similarities between Tommy and Tuppence. Oh, is that the one you needed to show?
No, I just want to see how it looks in the mirror, the magic mirror there. Yeah.
And I don't think it's anything giving, it's not anything giving away a plot, it's just character development. I think that Tommy and Tuppence are reflected, even though the characters are different, they're reflected in Why Didn't They Ask Evans by Frankie and Billy, whatever his name is. I think it's Bobby.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway,
so she does reuse. Yes.
okay.
But you have to be very familiar with her work to catch it.
This is the only other thing I worked on. I didn't do a whole lot of work on it. We had guests, and I was running around like a mad person trying to clean up the house and cook and all that kind of stuff. So,
And then you shockingly want to spend time with your family and not necessarily.
by the time I sat down with the family, I was too tired to focus on anything. So it's still this one piece, but I've gone a little further. You can see, I was going to cut all these strings. I thought
Oh, and I also don't say that you would have done any of the nitty type stuff when family were here. I might have crocheted.
yeah, it would have to be very simple. This could have been done. Excuse me. But we were pretty much, they got here on Thanksgiving Day from Pennsylvania.
And that's normal for them.
Yeah, and we ate almost immediately. And of course, on Thanksgiving, at least in our house, you eat in shifts in terms of, the first course, and then you come back because you're too full. So you wait a minute and then you eat more, and you just kind of eat all day.
Yeah, because it's sort of, it's like, okay, you have your first course. I think they took a walk in between. No, it was between turkey and dessert.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, usually the turkey has to break enough while you're cleaning up the soup stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we
have what, 5 soups this time?
We had 5 soups. We had soup, we had pasta, we had turkey and mashed potatoes and string beans and almondine and
my enchiladas came in with pasta.
enchiladas. Yeah, I mean we had 2 different types of bread.
We finished 3 loaves of bread over the course of the visits.
Homemade bread.
Yeah.
We finished egg bread, spaghetti bread, and
then later
and raisin bread later.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of food, and needless to say, you're not only a little uncomfortable maybe, but you're also kind of sleepy. And so, the walk was, thankfully we had good weather. We were able to walk, which was nice. I tried to keep my consumption to a reasonable level because I know you're supposed to just go ahead and enjoy it, but
you're too full.
I don't feel well.
And I actually made a point of trying not to do necessarily big portions of everything. It's just that there was a lot of food. And I didn't even eat the first day all the soups.
I didn't either.
I had 2 soups. I still haven't had my Tuscan bean.
I haven't either. I haven't had your tomato basil yet either.
Yeah, pretty sure I didn't have my Tuscan bean.
I wanted to. I tasted it. Oh, it's good.
Right.
But yeah, we had I made a zuppa toscana and a wedding soup, and Mike made clam chowder, and Talia made tomato basil and Tuscan bean.
Tuscan bean was a last minute because I just happened to realize I had the ingredients for it. And then we checked to make sure we had an extra crock pot, and we did. So I just went ahead and made it.
So we usually have quite a bit of soup. We actually had mashed potatoes this year because Talia was saying she's going to just eat. So yeah. So anyway, this is coming along. I don't think it'll be much longer now before maybe I try to weave in these ends so I can maybe pick up the stitches. Spaghetti all over the place, but it's growing, and I like the color much better here than in my other area where my desk.
Yeah, you can definitely see that's it. That's even without having all the lights that having the window and the door really do help open.
Yes. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, so
the bag is I
didn't show my bag. I'll show that.
B-wing country bag. I absolutely love.
Now, you've obviously seen my project, but I forgot to show my Cloverbird owl bag. The only owl bag I have, and this is before you were really into owls. I just thought it was cute. I like these big-eyed owls, and they're scattered throughout.
Sleepy-eyed owls.
I don't know, the big-eyed ones are really cute.
I just think you have sleepy-eyed ones.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole bunch. I think I have, noted for when I eventually wanted the place I use for eyes, they have sleepy eyes.
Yeah.
And my intention is to eventually get sleepy eyes for an owl.
Well, I was super excited to get, I think Davina got it for me for Christmas one year, the Tootsie Pop owl bag, because it's, for me, that's a bit of nostalgia.
Oh, I remember the commercials. 1 lick, 2 lick, a 3.
Let's find out. A 1, a 2, a 3. Crap.
Oh, that was such an old commercial.
It was like the 70s when it came out, I think.
I saw it in England.
Well, that's before the 70s. I mean, after the 70s.
I think you meant like it only ran during.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
because I definitely remember seeing it in England, but I also know that England wasn't necessarily on the same timeline.
Yeah, it had
I mean, the same time. You know what I mean?
It had a very faded color kind of thing to it.
Yes, it had an older feel to it, but I know that just because something comes out at one period in the US doesn't mean it will come out at the same period, and also it might last longer in one area than another. I'm still waiting for a pre-order of a British book. They got it in Britain. I can't get it until January.
Right.
So it's just the differences in. Not sure why it takes 4 months for us to get it. Stamp.
Okay, that takes care of this. What's next?
Okay, so usually we do graphic novel.
I don't have any graphic novel.
I do have.
I mean, I do, but I don't have anything to show.
So actually, I didn't have anything to show because I wasn't really inspired to do it. But today's the first day of Advent, and for whatever reason, probably because I don't have an Advent wreath or anything in my room, it's inspired me to go ahead and make my own little Advent wreath. Now, obviously, each week, if I want to keep up with it, I will have to draw a new one.
Or yeah.
I don't want to mess up my one over here, and I'll probably just do like maybe a thinner one. You know, it won't be the same every single
I
time.
know I do that in one of my notebooks where I just have a little Advent wreath that I put the candles in, and each day of the week it's like, okay, Sunday one, Monday one, and then I hit the following Sunday and it's now two, you know.
But I mean, it might even, yeah, because it's not going to be the same one. I'll use a different one because then I can also make, if I want to, a shorter candle, and they might be taller candles. And the next one, it might be a thinner wreath.
Well, I have all the same size. The wreath sometimes changes, and sometimes I put a candle, like at Christmas time, I put a candle in the middle here,
Right.
and then you'll see like one candle this far down, another this far down, another this far, and then the other one, you know.
So yeah, that was something that I just randomly decided to do. And then today's reading during Mass was the Centurion. That was the
healing of the centurion's servant.
Yeah, that was the gospel. So we at consecration, when before we have our communion, we take what he said, but just add, instead of saying, Lord, I'm not worthy to have you enter under my roof, only say the word, instead of saying my servant, we say my soul shall be healed. So I put that in, and I just need to color it pretty. You can barely see it right now because it hasn't been inked or colored. I just felt like putting it in there. I had to trim that sticker a little bit because I went a little bit lower with the writing than I wanted to. And then I should have
pull all my stickers down. They had one of the places that I follow for journal stuff had a box kind of thing. I'm like, I want that. It's got all these cool things in it. And I don't know if she put it together when she ordered it, if it was some kind of a box.
I'm happy to be back into some journaling again. I just didn't feel like doing it. I had part of me wants to put in everything I got, like cards and stuff in here, but part of me just isn't inspired to. So this is the first time I felt inspiration to do anything with this thing since surgery.
And I have to sit down because my journal stuff is like up on the top shelf up there. It's hard for me to get down.
You need to put that in an easier to reach area.
I
because you have space underneath here.
I have to be able to put my feet,
but you don't face that way. There's no.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah, but there's not as much reason to.
And I don't want to mess down there.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is moving on. Let's see. We'll figure that out later.
Now I do want to quickly show for beads and string because this is not shop related. I'm not quite ready to open the shop up for the rosaries yet. I kind of want to wait until my incision doesn't need the dressing anymore. And I think I'm gonna just wait till after Christmas, because if I open before too close to Christmas, people are gonna want their orders quickly by Christmas, and I just don't want to put that stress on myself right now. But I had a couple rosaries where I just needed to replace the stainless steel beads.
No, she needed because she wanted to have it different, not because it was falling apart or anything.
Now, a couple of them, because of the way they were bended and they were getting a little bit close to that, I'm trying to move away from, if I'm going to do stainless steel with a, for when I do the stainless steel with the cord, because most of my roses are stainless steel, I'm trying to move more towards the thicker cord with that. So a lot of the specialty beads will be going away unless they're going to be used with the wood. Just because the stainless steel is such a heavy bead, these thinner cords, even though this is this is supposed to handle 90 pounds of pressure, 90 pounds of weight, it just doesn't seem to hold up, as well as a thicker one for the stainless steel. And I have ways to make the centerpieces work. And I found a couple of rose shaped beads that can handle the thicker cord. But that there is the ebony bead, and not to mention, besides the stainless steel, it just doesn't do as well with the thinner cord. I have been looking for more wood. I've been wanting to do more wooden roses just because they feel better on my hands.
Sometimes they do feel, especially when your arthritis kicks in.
So a lot of times I just want something else. So this is I have a wooden rosary in my purse that I don't hardly use. It just sits in my purse. That was the first wooden rosary I made. I like having smaller ones because then I can slip them in my pocket.
Think about the smaller ones. I can never, they're so close. I keep losing my place on the beads.
Well, it all depends on how far or close. Now, granted, they are going to stretch a little bit depending on your usage. Now, not as much as stainless steel. This was another metal one. I had a blue. I changed the cord a couple times, I think. One time just because I wanted to. I had it yellow at one point. And then I think I changed to blue. Oh, I changed to blue when I got paracord instead of the original cord I had that wasn't paracord. So I changed that out. And then this time around, I decided to make this wood. Now, because it would have to always have a thinner cord because the specialty bead can't handle a thick cord. And it has the Trinity crucifix and the Divine Master centerpiece. This is, I think we call this a sienna. This one smells good.
I barely smell it now, but
Usually if I can catch the scent of it sometimes when I just pull it over. It's a little bit more intense with bigger beads, but this is my only bead that has any sort of scent to it. And I do think it's natural. I don't think they added something to it. That's just how the wood smells. And I like it's got a kind of reddish tint to it. And that's
pretty with a maroon.
I've made, I think I almost did maroon with this. But I decided to go with the orange because I haven't made no one ever uses the orange as much as I hope they would. I picked up orange because someone mentioned their kid or their grandkid liked orange, and it was a color I was intending to pick up to fill out my collection anyway. She didn't end up using it. So I ended up using it for a sacrifice bead for myself and now part of a rosary. I think it works with beads. If I want to change it out, I can always do so later. I have set aside stuff I already had set aside anyway. Mom needs a wood rosary to sleep with, so I have a Padre Pio. I'm gonna do ebony beads for her, stay put, and a red cord. And I have for myself set aside a Mother Teresa that my aunt, she really beat on her. She had chosen to go with the smaller cord with the big beads, and she found out that with her tendency to be rough on rosaries and with the fact that it was a thin cord with the heavy beads, the 10mm big beads, she found out that, oh yeah, I want the bigger bead like you suggested after all. So the bigger cord like you suggested after all. So when she sent back that rosary, I took the beads. I had to wash a couple of sets of beads from rosaries where people wanted something changed. And I'm stealing that centerpiece and the crucifix to make myself another wooden rosary. And I'm also doing ebony for that. And I'm gonna have a blue, not like a dark blue like I have for royal blue. Yes, it's almost a royal blue. Oh, you know what it is? It's that colonial blue. Because my other one with blue, it's a navy blue with the black cord. That's Our Lady of the Roses or Mystical Rose.
Mystical Rose, yeah.
Mystical Rose. So it's a very dark rosary, and apparently it works because that's more of a sorrowful thing. But this is gonna be a slightly different feel. But yeah, that's for beads and string. Then that leads on to shop news usually.
Okay, shop. Okay.
Let me just wave it back because then you can actually show stuff.
Oh, all right. I didn't know that was shop related.
Yeah, this is a little bit, very little work on a design in progress. My lap was cold during liturgy, and also I've been having issues where I'll be praying. Oh, there's my black pen, and I'll get distracted. Also, I'll start thinking of something else while you're doing your part, and then I can't find where I am. And sometimes because it's harder to think about the liturgy, think about something else and knit. I'm hoping if I think about the liturgy and then knit, I won't get as like, ooh, butterflies. What should I do later today? You know?
Okay, I showed you some yarn when I was sitting in my desk area, and the color wasn't really great. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff. I won't show you all of it. I mean, I've got a ton in here.
You've done a fair amount of dyeing.
Well, some of the seal was before,
but I mean, since it was like after once you finally got, or once you're able to get yourself started going, and I'm going to claim that my yarn here helped kickstart you?
Well, this is
And that's the other,
the other one. This is the match to that one.
and it's, you can see it's really pretty.
It's a sport weight and it's gonna go in the shop.
This moves a lot quicker than the one I knit last year because I think the gray wasn't quite as exciting as this color.
Right, well, this is a pretty color. And then, this is another red, this is also a sport yarn. Oops, fell apart. This is, most of these are, oopses or OOKs or whatever you want to call them. I have to figure out what term I'm gonna use for this and stick with it, but right now, these are one of a kinds, okay?
I think you could probably get away with Grandpa doing a little bit more, like not just plain. I think he would wear a little bit of variation.
Oh, Grandpa will wear whatever you think. Does
Uh,
Grandpa care?
no.
Grandpa picks up Grandma's sweatshirts, they don't.
That's why I made sure her sweater looked particularly feminine. And I made her hat color match her sweater. And same thing with his sweater and his hat.
So this is a variant of one of my other colors. I had to clear out my dye stock so I could start really dyeing yarn. So a lot of these are one of a kinds. This it's a candy cane. And this is a variant. I can do something like this. I have to sit down and figure it out. But
This is what the candy cane that we put in our tea looked like.
and this is a sport as well. So, sport weight.
It's probably Christmas candy cane would be what you call it versus like
yeah,
candy cane.
something like that. So this,
Because I think those only do come out around Christmas
so
time.
those three were sport. This one is a DK and this one's already been taken. This one it's a variant of my favorite teddy bear, and the person who bought this, every time I put this up, she grabs some. So I'm really happy about that. She likes this color and that makes me incredibly happy. So I appreciate that. And I will be putting that up as soon as I do something else that she wanted me to special order for her. I'm hoping to do that in the next couple of days because today will be difficult. Tomorrow I've got an appointment for Davina in the afternoon, and Wednesday I have a dental appointment for both me and Davina. So it might be toward the end of the week before I can get doing anything, but I will try, and she knows I'm going to try to do that. So then this is another, this one's femme fatale, and I can make this one over again. I think, keep this off. I have a bunch of these reddish and reddish purples, but they're all different. So this is femme fatale, and this one is a fingering sock. Both of these are fingering socks, so that's going in the shop. And this is glitter. This is on my Stardust base.
You were trying to get rid of some colors, partially because I needed although this you dyed it before.
This one I dyed. Yeah, I'm showing these because I've already reskeined them. Put this here. This is another one that's it's kind of a candy cane variant. And I probably could do this one again. I just have to think about it. But right now, this is a one-off.
Yeah, I only managed to type up the instructions for one of her things because I think it's really pretty and I was afraid that she would lose that recipe.
There's a story about this one, okay?
You really need to have you need to keep in your dyeing apron your book. And I might have to just go in there, put it in your dyeing apron with a pen so you actually do something with it.
I'm really bad about that kind of stuff. Let me get this.
And since you only use that apron for dyeing and you have
I use it for cooking.
You do?
Yep, I use it.
Oh. Well, still, it doesn't hurt to have a notepad in your
I
pocket.
have to get another apron and then I can, have.
You do. You have the M&M one.
That's the one I use for dyeing.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I thought you still had that old one for dyeing.
No, I use my M&M one because all the colors get lost in the M&Ms.
You see, for a long time, you wouldn't have used it for anything like that because, your sentimentality.
This one has a story to it. I wanted to make unconventional candy canes, which is one of the things I have to I have to make for the lady who wants
That's
this.
so gorgeous. I love this one.
I was taking it into the other room and it got contaminated, for less of a better term. And it slid into the water of this opposite color, got on the plane and all that. I said, oh boy, what am I going to do with this? I don't want to lose this yarn. So I over-dyed it. Okay. And this is what came out.
I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
Can you see that?
It reminds me a bit of a Matoche. It's reminds me a bit of a Flock Brizonis I like. It's just a really pretty color combination.
Right now it's called Aurora Borealis. I'm also looking at stained glass.
I heretically like it better than the unconventional candy cane.
Isn't that gorgeous? My husband likes this.
Mhm.
My husband doesn't like variants in his yarn. He likes this one. He wanted to call it peacock, but there's some red in here. So peacocks don't have red. You can see the red here. Can you see it up there?
Yeah. Although it does, if you squint, if honestly, when it's all together, you'd probably just think it's a purple.
I can, this one I can't
Unlearn.
make
Mhm.
because I know how to make my unconventional.
And I
candy cane.
also sent her what she did because I wanted to make sure she could do it again because I love it.
It's absolutely, I have to admit, I really like this color. It's really pretty. I think it'll make a stunning sweater or
Mhm,
or
mhm.
a really nice pair of socks or a hat or something. It's just really pretty. Make a great turtle shell. Um, maybe an owl. So this is
It's a bit dark for an owl because I was thinking, I was sitting here like some colors, like I wouldn't do a full bunny in it, even if I love it. Although I just reversed my point because I
made
have
a
that
ninja
black
bunny, yeah.
ninja. Where are you, ninja bunny? Ninja bunny.
so that's I have a whole bunch in the bag that I showed you as well, but I'm not gonna take it all out. I just wanted to show you. This is what I really wanted to show you because this is new since the last time I saw you. So okay, so that's what I had to show about that. And I hope to get these up in the shop in the near future, as well as other ones. I have to do some yarn dyeing, do unconventional candy canes for the person who wants it. And I have, you know, I have some ideas. I wanted to do a couple of newer ones, and I'm hoping I can get started before the Christmas season gets too far away from me,
Mhm.
because it's just been really hard to concentrate or do anything with all the stuff that's going on since September.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know, it used to be that my bunny's head that are now start to tilt. Like I think I lost my ability to sew things on straight.
Mine always kind of.
Yeah, mine heads are starting to tilt. I mean, look, he's obviously tilting. He's like looking at people thoughtfully. And so a lot of times I'll have like one leg that is kind of half raised. I'm like, this is my own design. I shouldn't be like having
Okay, so
stash enhancement.
yes, stash enhancement. Where is it? Oh,
So
placed it. Stash enhancement.
the first thing is
I have that as well.
so when my grandparents went on a cruise, they ended up stopping by. They go to Versailles
Versailles.
itself. Okay.
Yeah, they went to the
And-
Hall of Mirrors, but Grandpa said he was disappointed with the Hall of Mirrors.
But this is original, the Marie Antoinette. It's from Nina's in Paris. And so we're saving these. It's tea.
I wish it was a stamp. Isn't that
Yeah.
great? Look at that. Isn't that pretty?
So it's really lovely. And I had Davina's as well as mine because Davina didn't really want hers. Now, if we had wanted to, we could open one of them and then I would just cut this up and get things I want from it.
Yeah.
And then I have still one that's saved.
Well, let's do that right now, though.
Yeah. It looks
Okay.
like hang on, let me turn off the alarm. There. It looks like it is a pyramid bag,
Okay.
just by the picture on there. It's very small in the
okay, yeah,
corner. You
okay.
had to really squint to see it.
Yeah, I see it.
I
like the little pictures on the side there. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I kind of want to just drink the one, and then I have the pictures for when I eventually have a non-religious journal because that would be cool.
Now, I made quite a large order about 3 weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago, something like that, just around after the time of the last podcast, I think, or maybe about a week after that.
I think it was after
It came really fast.
Right. It came after mine did though, because I was able to show mine on the podcast. You weren't able to show yours.
Right. So this, I got Christmas gifts, so some of the things I can't show you. But this was, because I made such a large order, I remember we mentioned the tier system. The first tier, if you spent a certain amount, you got free regular shipping. I think it was whatever the lowest shipping is. The next one, you got like this grog thing. And I have that's this.
Yeah, I think I have the grog thing.
I got this. Okay. That was the second tier. The shipping I can't show you, obviously. The third level was this. Okay. See, it's cumulative. So
Yeah.
there's like 5 levels and I hit the 4th, I guess.
I think
because-
if you try this with the almond milk mom, this might be palatable for you.
Right. And then,
I've used it in latte.
right. And then because I had such a high
Does Davina know what she's supposed to be having? Because she sounds like she's
Chili.
okay.
yeah.
She knows she has that.
So this is what I got. You saw Taya's mug. This is mine. It's the new one. I haven't opened it yet.
Now I think, unlike mine, I think she can actually order hers like by itself. I think
Not
it's
at the moment.
oh, okay. Now,
Yes,
oh,
okay.
maybe it's just a different reindeer one. There's a different reindeer.
Now this is I gave you yours, right? Like this?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I had enough of my favorite teas. Once I get through all my stuff that I got stockpiled, I'm pretty much going to try to stay with things that are in here, except with things that are
Well, there's something you don't necessarily
You don't
want
need
to
to
have.
out. You just, but these are the ones that are going to be my favorites. I have several of these, and then I have a couple that are about a little more than double the size of this. And I got more chocolate honey. This is the Adagio chocolate honey.
There you go, Mom.
The reason I didn't, thank you. The reason I didn't get the cinnamon honey as well is because I got a certain person who remained nameless, some for Christmas. And since it remained in the house, I don't need to get
Right.
But this is,
You did get large one, right?
I have a small one, and I got one. So this is the mug.
Very cool. And then comparing it to
Mine's kind of green.
what?
Does this have a date on it? I thought yours had a date on it. It doesn't seem to have a date
No,
on
mine doesn't have a date
it.
on
No,
it.
mine doesn't either.
It says Merry Christmas in multiple languages.
Right, and this is just it's called an Advent mug. So it's got a snowflake and it's got the reindeer. That reindeer's a popular motif. They have a mug with that reindeer. It's all red reindeers, candy canes, and all this kind of stuff. So I didn't want to use this until I showed you guys. Now I can wash it and use it.
Because I really wanted to win it the way you won yours, but I wasn't going to be able to make a purchase of that
Right.
magnitude. It was
I didn't expect to be able to do it, and then
I was having surgery coming up, I think.
no. This is after. I just got this.
No, mine.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
This one I won. Not
I
this-
know you just got yours.
This one was given to me. The Adagio one that you've seen me use sometimes, I won that on accolades. This one, I didn't expect to have enough, but because I bought Christmas gifts,
Mhm.
it bumped me over and I was able to get this for free. And these, I really have found I like these, especially when I get they're perfect for those little samples that we get in the communities, the
Mhm.
portion sizes.
And I'm getting used to measuring some of my other ones
Mhm.
out in that.
I am too, like Woody's and a couple other people. So this,
It's terribly expensive if you like you chip it or something to pick
Yeah.
up a new one.
I've
I've chipped my bunny one.
This came in, I replaced the top because I dropped it on our floor. We have a tile floor now and it right
I
down
did the
middle.
same thing to my bunny one. I have a replacement one too.
So but yeah, that's basically that,
And a replacement top, not a replacement.
right. That takes care of that.
Yep. And
Yeah.
well, for me, I have the chocolate honey as well. And I'll show you my tin in a second. I just want to get past the point where my my needle won't fall out of my stitches. Great. So I haven't unwrapped this yet.
Yeah, I just unwrapped mine, so
Be
be careful if you don't spill it.
well, it's closed, so I'll put it in my shelf. Actually, it's probably good I didn't put it in the shelf
Yeah.
during Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Sticky fingers. Although he
And
didn't get into that.
he didn't
No, he didn't get into the cupboards at all. I replaced my yellow one that I gave her.
Although I did give you one to replace
Well,
that.
you gave me the big one.
That's
That-
true.
That didn't, so that's why I gave you another one.
So yes, I have. And thank you very much. That's why I did give you a big one because you couldn't fit your position.
Position, yeah.
Yeah, because
No, it was fresh.
it was fresh.
Yeah.
So you were surprised because you actually couldn't fit fresh in there. And I haven't yet decided which of my newer teas that I picked up. I think about maybe the Pecha. You liked that one because it reminded you of a
Not the Germany tea.
no, it was either that one or the Hojiga.
Oh, it's a Hochika, but the Hochika, when I tried it on my own, I didn't like it as much.
Maybe it's the way I sugar it,
I don't know.
maybe I don't know. But I remember liking the other one too. I
Hochika.
tend to like, other than the nasty Benefuki one green tea, I tend to like Japanese green teas.
I do like Japanese green teas on occasion. It depends on what they are. I don't know how I made it differently, or maybe, I don't know. Sometimes, maybe I just didn't want it that day.
Right. And sometimes it doesn't matter if you like something, it just tastes bad one day.
Yeah, I've had that happen even with Woody's teas on occasion where I really like his tea and I'm like, I don't want this.
I had that happen with purple tea before.
Yeah, it's just,
And that was one I obsessively had before.
I had that happen with Z Little Gray Cells the other day.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, and I love Z Little Gray Cells, despite the fact that it's probably very coffee-like.
Mhm.
You know, but anyway, that takes care of that.
I don't think that there's really anything else.
No, we do have a Zoom coming up
That'll be on
on
Thursday.
Thursday. The date changed because Ty's got father coming over to do what he has to do.
Well, and the date didn't change. That date changed because of Thanksgiving. We don't usually have.
That's true. That's true. And then father is
yeah,
coming though.
Yeah,
so-
father is coming,
but we wouldn't be
but
able to do it if father came either. So.
right. But normally it would have been the week before.
Right.
So we moved it to the week where it's usually his father, but it has to be on Thursday because father.
Right. So that's coming up, but I don't want to really get into life because it's longer than I thought we were.
Honestly, there's not a whole lot to say anyway.
No, just like I said, please pray for my dental appointment. It's a stupid thing that I have to do, but
No, I mean, it's not stupid.
I just don't want to have pain. I had Davina praying for me Thanksgiving. I was able to eat with minimal pain.
Because I had
So-
actually made the extra soup just in case she wouldn't be able to. I have been informed by my dad that I don't make anything that he likes.
We told him that he wasn't important.
Uh, so
I told him he was a picky eater.
and he admitted it. He admitted it. But that's one of the joys of being able to make your own kind of food when you have the energy to is I'm able to eat the food that maybe no one else wants to. And there's food that I can't have.
And he was teasing her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he still thought the stuff I made was gross, but
He was still a picky eater.
right. So it has been one of the nice things is that things that I wouldn't eat because they make me flare or whatever. It also makes it so you guys don't feel as bad if you want something with your dairy because I have my own.
Although I
options.
have to, I'm
Yeah.
I'm having to cut way back. I think that some of the stuff I'm going through right now is because of all the gluten and dairy I have.
And that honestly, because it's the inflammation.
Mhm.
Now I haven't noticed really the effects for myself, and it's hard to tell if the fatigue I was having was food related or honestly just mixture of food related and spending a lot more time with people than I normally do.
Right. Okay.
So
All right, so I did the yarn, did the shop. Oh, yeah, okay. So we want to, before we head out, we want to, like I said, we hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving and we want to wish you all a wonderful Advent. We want to thank everybody who commented either on the last two YouTubes, the last episode and the short one that Tanya put out. Thank you for that. We appreciate all comments. Yeah, I didn't get to any of them. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I plead insanity of Thanksgiving. But we do appreciate everyone who commented. Thank you
Yes,
very much.
thank you.
So we want to pray. Want to thank Brittany, Mooney Hiker, Paula, Wendy, who is MacGyver. Yes, she is. Emma, Meditative Crafter, Christina, and Addicted to Yarn. Thank you for commenting on wherever it was you commented through the last 2 weeks on the threads or in the podcast, wherever you did. Okay, we appreciate that.
And in the future, I'm not doing it this time because we're trying to end in a decent time. But in the future, I'm going to try to incorporate something I started doing on BookTube, which is looking at the comments and responding to them on camera. And it had actually happened as a result. It wasn't my choice initially
Right.
because I got flagged as spam by YouTube. I think because when I've tried to edit my comments, because I have a tendency to write long, in-depth comments, I have learned that I need to
Ad nauseum.
I've learned that if I'm going to do this very long thing, I need to write it in Word, edit it, and then post it. And I also think it was because I was trying to provide links to support my argument. They started thinking I was spam because when I try to edit my stuff, not only did I have links, but it would run as an error. So then I'd have to delete the comment and post it again. And this happened multiple times. And eventually I think they just thought I was spam and all my comments, anytime I would post something after that point, it would disappear. It didn't matter where it was, didn't matter how short it was. When this happens, apparently, and this is something I got from the help area, someone had this question before. They're like, look, just, send a help thing. And they didn't respond, but they said, in the help area, it said, send something for help and then wait a week, maybe 10 days.
Right.
If you don't do anything, you will eventually find that you'll post again. And I waited almost exactly a week, and I can now answer comments, but because I couldn't comment on people on BookTube, and I was having some people ask them, like, I especially one particular commenter who does long in-depth comments. She also does some too. She tends to do multiple ones. So I decided to respond via video. And I find I kind of like that. For one thing, it brings out more content.
Mhm.
For another thing, it's a little bit more personal. And that's something I could also do,
Right.
is perhaps even for us here, like I do for BookTube, really quick video. I might not be able to keep up with the comments typing up, but maybe I can answer some of them on video, like a little short video, even if you find that it's better for you to do typed up.
Right.
Just so
right.
that way I can make use of what's worked for BookTube and make it work for PHN, and then there'll be slightly more that might be better than making this podcast longer.
Well, I wanted to let you do that because I know that Christina said she looked up on Ravelry, George from 10 Hours or Less, and he's still on there.
Okay, that's good.
So 10 Hours or Less, thank you, Christina,
Thank you.
is still on Ravelry in case you're looking for him. We occasionally will plug him because we like him and he's amazing.
Mhm.
And he was very helpful to us when we started out, and we miss him.
Yes.
But he's wonderful, and he is still on Ravelry if you're interested. He has his own website as well. So I just wanted to make sure that I got on here because Tony reminded me. I wanted to make sure I couldn't remember exactly what Christina had said. She'd looked up something. I wanted to make sure I addressed that. So thank you, Christina.
And we're still figuring out, because our comments also don't tend to be very long, so that what works for BookTube might not work for us. Doing like you just did there might be more appropriate for us.
Right. It's just whatever. We have,
because a lot of people are just letting us know, hey, we watched.
yeah.
We like this. We like it. Might not be unlike with
It might not need a response.
right.
I mean,
or right. It might require just a short response, or like Mom just did there. Whereas for BookTube, a lot of times it's a very in-depth, let me suggest a book for you kind of thing. It's a different kind of content.
So having said that, we probably
Yes.
should close. We want to wish you all a wonderful first week of Advent, full of knitting, crocheting, whatever it is that makes you happy. I don't know exactly when Hanukkah starts. Whatever you
I don't even remember
prepping for that.
how many days is it? 14?
I
I don't know why 14 is in my head.
I think she's the one who celebrates
I'm probably wrong. I don't know why
Hanukkah.
14.
If she can tell us how long Hanukkah is, there's a certain number of candles on the menorah. I don't know if that's for each day. I'm not really very.
Yeah, I can
conversant.
picture the menorah.
I'm not very conversant. I should know more. So if she or anyone else who celebrates Hanukkah can tell us a little bit about Hanukkah in the comments, so we aren't so ignorant, we'd appreciate that.
Yeah, because the most I've seen with anything regards to, it's bad when they go on the roof with like your main source for that kind of thing.
It's pretty accurate from what I understand. But the menorah and the little, what do they call those little dreidel, whatever those things are that you spin?
I thought that was a different. That doesn't sound like them to be.
I don't know if that's Hanukkah or not. But there's anyway. I'm fascinated by it, but I just haven't really looked into it like I should. Anyway, if you celebrate any of these holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is, we wish you all a wonderful prep period. We wish you a wonderful holiday. And we hope to see you here again for the Fun in the Woman Cave next week. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 530, and that's a wrap.
Bye.